Houston, Indianapolis Center, do you have any test operation to restricted area 2508?
Aries 31, roger. Traffic is quite luminous and is exhibiting some non-ballistic motion, over.
Roger, Aries 31, continue descent at your discretion, over.
Okay, Center. The traffic is approaching head-on, ultra bright, and really moving. They're right by us right now.
There are 1,000 UFO sightings reported around the world every month. 90% of these sightings can be explained, but 10% cannot. Officially and unofficially, the U.S. military has been investigating UFOs since 1947. Their top secret goal is to find out what's behind these unexplained sightings. The Pentagon classifies them as unusual airborne anomalies, but a better term is X-Files. Join us now as Mack, Juan-Juan, and Commander Cobra explore these unsolved cases, UFO incidents that baffle even the U.S. military. This is Mack Maloney's Military X-Files. And now, here's Mack Maloney.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This is Mack Maloney. Well, what a show we have for you tonight. We're going to be playing some Jeopardy music because later on in the show, we're going to have our first edition of the World War II Trivia Contest. Okay, 4 of us are going to be playing for our lucky fan out there. And the prize is a very exclusive Risk in Europe, European Risk. And it's so exclusive that the people who are donating into the show emailed me today and said that the board itself was 11 pounds. Okay, so that's how kind of...
made out of teak?
I don't know what's in there. So, but anyway, with my shades here, dude. Hang on. Anyway, girls. So get ready. Here's the time that you've been waiting for. Okay, I'm looking over at him, and it's like I'm looking in the mirror. Now you're dressing like me.
We're like Ike and Mike. We're like twins.
Okay. Girls, sit down. Get your fans. Get your misters. Get your fans. As we know, up in Canada, they all get their fans.
They do. They carry them around with them.
Right. Okay. Because the very famous Juan-Juan is here.
Hello, Mac. Hello, girls. How's everything going? Happy to be here. Happy to see you all. Because we're on Zoom here.
We are on Zoom.
Most of us, anyway.
No. Okay. So
but
anyway,
you're looking good.
Who is?
Yeah, you're looking good.
Me?
Yeah.
That's the first time you've said that in like 8 years. How come? What do I owe you?
I don't know. It's sparkle in your eye, even through the shades.
Wow. Okay. Stay over 6 feet. 6 feet. Anyway. Hey, listen, middle-aged ladies, you're in luck because up there in his bunker/compound in the great state of Maine is Commander Cobra is with us. Coco on the streets. Coco, how you doing? CC. What? There he is.
Hey, Mac, it's always a privilege to join the formation and be part of the Great Array, which is Mack Maloney's Military X-Files on the Distant Thunder Radio Network.
Wow. CC. Hey, listen, what are those, your bedspreads hanging up on your wall behind there? It looks like airplanes on your...
That is the F-35 completing a loop behind us tonight.
Did it crash or no?
He said completing a loop.
It did not crash. Okay. Speaking of a loop, wow, by the time we say...
You're the pilot, Coco.
Here we go, listen.
Who was the pilot?
He doesn't know. They're anonymous.
I don't know. Juan-Juan.
Right.
He doesn't know everybody. Just because he's a pilot doesn't mean all pilots know each other.
Cope knows everybody.
Commander, how much did that loop cost? Was it less than $500 billion?
Who is this?
It cost, looking at that maneuver at the present cost per hour, it cost about probably $200 to do that.
Wait till you're introduced, Dax, okay? In the meantime, go kick the kids off your lawn. Do you know what I mean? Look, up there. In, where the heck is he? Up in Michigan?
Yeah, up north.
Up north.
Up by the
Battle
lakes.
Creek.
Battle Creek
of the Republic.
All right. Our national correspondent, Switchblade, Steve Woods.
The land of flakes.
The land of flakes. Switchy, how you doing?
Snap, crackle, pop.
Right. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Pretty good. Okay.
Actually, more specifically, I'm beyond wonderful.
Okay. Boy, if you didn't say that, then I knew things would be,
Good to see you, Switch. You do look wonderful.
Go wrong tonight. Does he? Yeah. Does he look wonderful?
Fabulous.
Does he?
How much email do you get when he doesn't do the beyond wonderful?
Oh, Switchy gets almost as much email as Raven. So anyway, speaking of Raven, up there in
almost as much.
I don't know why I have to triangulate you, other than it sounds dirty. Raven, up there in upstate New York, how are you doing tonight, Raven?
Hello, my friends. I'm doing well. How are you?
We're doing great. We're doing better now. Let me ask you something though. Do you have a new hairdo? There's a new look going on here, or is it just me?
It's just a bun.
A bun?
It's like humid here today, so I couldn't wear my signature hat.
Interesting. Okay, right.
Yeah,
Do you have
it's like
incense?
70.
that incense behind you, or is the studio there on fire where you're at?
It's just incense.
We asked you that question.
I'm picking up the vibe.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. So let me introduce X before he goes.
Mack's favorite incense is number 6 incense. That's Mack's favorite incense.
Actually, it's now number 3, but that's another show. Up there somewhere, we don't know where, is Agent X, the man who worked for the agency, that worked for the agencies. X, how you doing?
Not quite as well as Switchblade, but I'm hanging in there, doing pretty well.
Really? Yeah.
And thanks for having me, and hello to all the teammates.
Hello, X. Good to see you.
I won't say beyond wonderful, just plain old wonderful.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, close
he's some kind of wonderful.
So listen, I just want to ask Raven this, and then we're going to go to Switchy and see what he had for breakfast. Hey, Raven, listen now. Would you? Well, I don't want to offend anyone. Would you date a man who had a bun?
No.
Yes,
no.
Yes.
No.
Okay. Because Switchy used to have a bun. Switch used to have one.
It's awful. I hate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now don't be maligning me. This is fake news.
He used to have a mullet and,
In the 80s, I had a tail.
No.
A mullet is a different story. A mullet is a different story. A man bun is an absolute no. A mullet, we're talking.
So, oh, really? Yeah? Okay, wow. Another look into your life. Hang on. What did you say you liked?
I had a tail.
You had a tail?
Yeah, it's like a
rat tail?
Shortish.
Oh, rat tail?
Yeah, like that. But it was, what do you call it? Twisted. What do you call that?
Well, like a pigtail.
Yeah.
Call it what it is.
It's a tail. It's a tail.
Right.
Kind of short hair, but the tail is long.
Really? Yeah. Did you get a lot of chicks?
I didn't give it a different color or anything.
Okay. Did you get a lot of? It
was happening. Yeah.
It was happening. It was happening.
It was happening. Man.
Well, there's a time for everything. Wow. Okay. Is there any chance you'll ever grow that back? Or?
More fake news, I think.
I miss it.
Zeppelin just wants you to know that he doesn't appreciate the pigtail remark.
Oh, yeah. See now? Wow.
You're right.
We don't want to get into the animals too soon, but listen. We got to do two things. First of all, we're going to have the World War II Trivia Contest coming up after the break. But first, we have to go to Switchy and ask Switchy, the most requested, most listened to part of the show. Wow. What did Switch have for breakfast today? Switch, please, don't let us down, please.
This morning, I had a piece of lemon cake with lemon frosting.
Oh, yes.
And it was delicious.
Was it real lemon or
remember
was that
Snuffles
fake
from the
stuff?
cartoons when he would get the biscuit, he would kind of float to the ceiling?
Yes.
I find myself kind of floating a little bit to the ceiling.
Really? You
Just
sure that was powdered
sugar? Off the floor, yeah.
Yeah. No one was...
What's that?
No one was pranking you. Was it really powdered sugar?
No one was there to witness it.
Okay, good. Because when he used to do that in the cartoon, what they were really, you know what I mean? What they're hinting is that he's, snorting blow. But anyway, I don't want to say that.
That's the hint?
Yes, right. And Switchy didn't
Wow.
get it.
What a perspective you have, man.
Listen. Okay, so that's it? That's it, Switch? The lemon cake?
Well, hot black coffee.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no bacon or anything. Okay, all right. Okay, good. That's good. That's good.
No,
That's
you don't need. You have lemon cake with lemon frosting. You don't need bacon. You don't need sausage. You don't need scrambled eggs.
That's right.
Okay. All right, good. Switchy's cookbook.
He's
You might need another piece of cake.
today.
Another piece of cake. Were there any around? Is there any left? Is there any left?
Oh, there's some left. Yeah.
Really? Okay, good for you. All right, so you keep some handy for later on. Well, listen, while we're talking about you and your breakfast, I don't know why, but this idea came to me somewhere, probably around 3 a.m., and here we go. Top 5 things Switch would have for breakfast if he lived in ancient Rome. Okay. Ready? I better say that again. Top 5 things Switch would have for breakfast if he lived in ancient Rome. Okay, you get the bit there, JJ?
I got it.
Okay, you understand? Okay. So let's go. Raven, you have the list? Please.
I have the list.
Number 5, let's go.
Number 5 is spaghetti and goat's balls.
Yeah.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
When you're in Italy, when you're in Rome, do as the Romans. Okay, number 4. Wow. Number 4, please. The what Switch would have for breakfast if you lived in ancient Rome?
Number 4 is a heaping bowl of Frostifus flacus.
Come on. Okay. I'm counting on you.
That's the Latin version.
Is this why?
So
exactly.
I get it. That's Latin, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow. All right.
I don't know. I might have just summoned a demon.
Yeah, let's go.
We
Is
don't
that what
know.
it was?
Guess we'll
All right,
find
let's
out.
go to number 3 then,
That
please.
happens.
See fun
Number 3 is Mac. I can't read. 2 Poptarticus.
Come on. I'm Poptarticus. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I am Poptarticus.
I'm
right?
Poptarticus. Okay, please. Number 2, please, Raven.
Number 2, mouse pancakes.
Mouse pancakes.
Mouse pancakes.
Okay, now listen. Now let me tell you something about mouse pancakes. So I'm trying to think up. I can't think of 10 things that he's going to eat way back then. So I go on. I Google.
I'm really disappointed we couldn't do 10.
What did ancient Romans eat for breakfast? Okay, Google, and they used to eat mouse pancakes, and what they used to put mice in a lot of their food. I know it sounds crazy. They would catch them, they would cook them, they would crunch them up, and they put them in everything, and they would have mice pancakes. Okay, that isn't sickening enough. And I get a feeling Coco might know this. There's a sauce that the ancient Romans used to use, and it's called like, I don't know, gala or something. Has some weird name, and it's made out of fish intestines, lamb's. What is it?
Lovely.
Oh, I thought, it's almost like the name of it.
Fish intestines.
Lamb's blood, sure. And then a whole mix of all this, stuff.
The lamb's blood's the holy part of it.
And then they would make it into a liquid, and they would pour it on everything, every meal of the day. It was the most grotesque stuff anyway. So
I really thought you were going to say for the mouse pancakes it was going to be a mole sauce, but that seemed like to be obvious to me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, mole sauce. Oh, mole. Okay, mole. It's called mole there, I think, Cece. No? Are you talking Mexican now?
I'm from Chelsea. We called it mole sauce.
Okay, all right, now I understand. Okay, let's get out of this quick. So we're at the last one, I think. Right?
We're at the last one.
Yes. Go.
I'm about to butcher this.
No, you can't do any worse.
2 Jellicus donuts and a cup of Negro Capulus. Bibendum like a jerk. I don't like the word.
I'm sorry.
Like a jerk.
That is Latin for a heaping. What is it? A heaping cup of black coffee. Drink it like a man. In Latin.
Drink it like a man. Oh, okay.
Try it again.
I figured that was jelly donut.
Try it again. Go ahead.
Raven, say it again.
Say it again.
I follow Latin. I want to hear you say that again.
We got to put all this out.
Go ahead.
Whoever gave this to you. Go ahead.
Okay. 2 Jellicus donuts and a cup of Negro Capulus. Bibendum like a jerk.
Oh, okay, she's leaving out the last word, but that's good.
Oh, is that actually Latin?
Yes, that's the Latin word for man. Do you want to do it another time? Let's go.
Okay,
one more time. Here we go.
That's it.
Okay.
I want you to know that this is costing us more than the F-20 or F-35 doing a loop at this point.
So this is what the number one thing.
It?
The number one thing that Switch would eat for breakfast if Switch lived in ancient Rome. Okay.
2 Jellicus donuts. And a cup of Negro donuts. And a cup of Negro Capulus Bibendum like a
What? We just put that in to bleep it.
Almost man, so drink it like a man.
There you go. Exactly. Thank you, Switch. What do you say there?
Don't be afraid of the language.
Hey, Latin expert.
Non illegitimate carborundum.
Exactly.
Never let the pastors get you down.
That's right.
Hey, X, did she pass the test? She passed her Latin test?
No, she did fine. Whoever gave her that praise was hosed.
Well, who did?
And this is the same show upon which I was excoriated for saying
big words.
Radix malorum est cupiditas,
yes,
which is proper Latin.
Okay.
Raven, and it means the root of all evil is greed.
I like that.
Wow, so do I. We should put that on a T-shirt.
Mac and I both learned that when we were in 5th grade. He has no idea about it anymore.
Getting slapped around by the nuns, I can tell you that. That I remember.
I also like to add that the sidekick says that he's very happy to not use pig Latin. So he's leaving happy.
Always dragging the pig into this.
Well done.
It's serious. We don't want to get Zeppelin feeling bad for himself.
No, we don't want that. We don't want a depressed pig. Yeah. They probably don't taste that good.
Definitely.
Look, so we're going to do the sorry, Raven. She just got the we're going to do the World War II Trivia contest tonight, okay? And 4 of us are going to be playing for a lucky listener, and the winner is going to get a classic, kind of one-of-a-kind, unusual, unique Risk in Europe only. If you're familiar with the game Risk, you take over the entire world. This one, you
take over
Europe, and it weighs a lot, is what I've heard, which is kind of cool too, I guess. So we're going to be doing that when we come back from break. So you're listening to Mack Maloney's Milk Tracks Now Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. We'll be right back after this. Mack Maloney's Milk Track Style Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This is Mack Maloney. What a show we have for you tonight. We have World War II Trivia Contest, our first show doing that. Let me very quickly introduce the members of the Posse Girls. The very famous Juan-Juan is here.
Hello, Mac. How are you?
Also, Commander Cobra is here up there in Maine, his compound, Coco.
On the wing, Mac. On the wing.
On the wing, the chicken wing. Okay, up there in Battle Creek, Michigan, ate a piece of lemon cake today for breakfast. Our national correspondent, Switchblade Steve Ward.
And I'm just out of a hearing range of the Snap, Crackle, Pop.
Really? Yeah, okay. Also put that on a T-shirt. Yep. Making us all look good is our good friend Raven. Raven, how are you tonight?
Hello. How are you?
Tonight, Raven has a bun. I think that'd be the name of the show, the title of the show. I have to title a show every week.
I like it's kind of samurai-ish.
Samurai-ish. Raven has a bun. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say
that would be a top knot, but
a top knot.
Yeah, for real.
Well, and now we're going down a road we don't want to go through. Listen, let's talk about buns.
Agent X. Samurai. That's how they wore their hair. Top knot.
Agent X. Agent X is a samurai. I bet she has a. But you've had a bun in your life. You probably have one now, do you? Agent X used to work for the agency that works for the agency.
You know me, Mac.
There you go.
I've never had a bun.
Thank you.
I never would.
Okay.
Thanks for having me, and it's great to see the crew here.
Okay. Thank you very much, X, for joining us. Phil Orbanes, a good friend who is the past president emeritus. I'm not sure exactly what his title is, but it's way up there in the food chain. Winning Moves, Game Boy Company. They do the Risk. They do certain kinds of Monopoly. They're the people who sell Rubik's Cubes, Chutes and Ladders, the works. Phil, how you doing tonight, Phil?
I am excellent. It's wonderful to be here.
Okay.
Good to see you,
with
Phil.
An illustrious company accompanying you.
Thank you. How's things with you down there where all the rich people live in Magnolia, Massachusetts?
I don't know. We're wet like I'm sure you are.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Well, we all get wet.
Wow.
No matter what.
Wow. Just kind of threw that one right out there. Just, not even.
Just move on.
Don't even build up. Just bam.
Bam.
Also.
In your face.
Speaking of Bam, out there, and he's in the Central Time Zone now. Bill Ray, our good friend Bill Ray. Bill, how you doing tonight?
Doing great. Living the dream.
Okay, he's living the dream. Bill, at one point, actually ran the Army's remote viewing department or whatever. All right, you actually ran it for the Army. Yeah. For how many years did you run that for them?
I was there for 3.5. The first year and a half as a viewer, and the last 2 years, year and a half as a viewer and as the commander.
Okay. So you're a viewer too. Can you tell us, is this show going to be the disaster we think it's going to be, or what do you see in the future for this show?
I would expect nothing less, and I'd like to comment on Agent X. Yes. I never knew him with a bun, but he did have a mullet.
He did have. Well, we were into mullets.
We were just talking about mullets.
So you hit the.
I will freely admit I have.
That's because Mr. Ray remote viewed us before we brought him out of the green room. He knows everything we said. Come on, don't be amazed at this.
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, he's going to win the show.
I know that you knew that I was going to say that.
And I knew you knew I knew.
He knew the question.
What am I holding in my hand, Ray?
Uh-oh. Hold on. We're a radio show, but we can't do that. Well, listen. No. All right, look. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do World War II trivia tonight. 4 of us are going to play. Phil is going to be our MC. He's going to be Al Trebek tonight, RIP. And we're going to, the 4 of us are going to answer 10 questions, and then the top 2 of the first round will go into the second round, and then they'll play against each other. Whoever wins a prize for a lucky fan. Phil, tell us about the prize a little bit, because I've been goofing it up for a couple
I want to know who the fan is also.
There it is.
Can you see the prize here?
Yes, radio.
This is 5 pounds worth of game called Risk Europe. It's medieval tactical strategy game set obviously in Europe with scads of pieces, lots of intrigue. Mm-hmm. It's a much richer and more involved game than its predecessor, Risk 1959. And this is going to be awarded, Mac tells me, to a lucky listener.
Right. So the 4 of us are going to play.
Is he going to autograph it too?
You'll autograph it, Phil, right?
I can autograph it before it goes out.
We can forward you our autograph.
I'll be shipping it.
Okay, right. Okay,
so the moment you give me the name and address, it will be processed.
Okay.
Phil, just a quick story because it's directly relevant to this.
I hope so.
Bill probably doesn't know this, but on the other hand, he knows everything. For a number of months, 3 months during the Cold War, I was the U.S. liaison officer to the 2nd German Corps.
Yes.
So I hung out pretty much full time with the Germans.
Go ahead.
And at night, when we weren't in the field and we weren't in a guest house,
Go ahead.
We would play Risk, but it didn't look at all like what you just showed. It was called Risiko.
Risiko, right.
Risiko.
Right.
And the Germans loved that game.
Wow.
Right.
I don't remember if it was just Europe, but I think you're right.
No,
I think they loved it because you were there with a mullet, and that's what made Risiko
And they can
so
take over the
exciting.
world.
No. I had proper high and tight back then. I was not in mullet status.
Just a 10-second interruption, but that game was difficult to license to Germany because after the war, they permitted no war games to be produced in their country.
Wow.
So it had to be sort of finagled in around that restriction.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. There's a point.
I remember that.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
All right.
now, have I introduced everyone? Have I given the rules? Okay. So, Phil, I'm going to turn it over to you. Why don't we start the Jeopardy music now? Phil, please, our MC.
Just so you know, a lot of the answers tonight are numerical.
Okay.
And whoever comes closest to the actual answer scores. So, for example, if the actual answer happens to be 10 and someone guesses 12 and they're the closest, they're going to get the point.
Win. Okay.
You don't have to be under like in Price and Right.
Okay.
I was assured there'd be no math on this.
Me
test.
too. Me too. This is news to me. Okay.
It's very simple math.
Okay. Well, still.
No quadratic equations.
Right. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Phil, please. So
I'm ready to go.
Okay, we're going to do the.
You got the music playing, or
yes, we get the music playing now, and we should introduce the contestants.
In this
all right. Well, welcome to Mack Maloney's first World War II quiz. Tonight we have 4 outstanding players whose knowledge I think will sparkle. We begin with Commander Cobra, who was calling in from a secret location in Maine. In 10 words or less, just tell us what we should know about you.
No way.
Cobra.
10 words.
I like dogs, cats, all animals.
You're over
long
10.
walks on the beach.
Nice.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay.
Now, next on our panel is Agent X, who is also calling in from a secret location, which might be in New Hampshire or maybe not. But Agent X, what would you like to say in just a few words?
I like to try to be a nice guy, and I'm also wicked good looking.
Okay. 17
With
words.
or
Go
without
ahead.
the mullet?
Yes.
All right.
Go ahead.
I like that. Third, we have Bill Ray, who I believe is in a non-secret location is it Minnesota tonight?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Same thing.
I didn't get that right. All right. I got that question wrong, everybody. All right, Wisconsin.
Yes.
What would you like
I
to
just
tell us? Right?
Just like to say, if Agent X is good looking, the bar is set very low for the rest of us.
Wow. Ooh, that hurts.
I would like to pass on some words of wisdom my father gave me.
Go ahead.
And that is, he told me, he said, Bill, never marry a girl who carries a meat cleaver in her purse.
See, that's man. I'll tell you, I wish my father passed on words of wisdom like that to me.
Well, Max, so much for the Band of Brothers.
Yeah, before it's too late. Yes,
that's good.
The Band-Aid brothers.
I wish I had that learned when I.
Okay.
All right. Finally, we have Mack Maloney, our host, who's live from WXEX Studio in Exeter, New Hampshire, the home of the UFO abductions. And besides from that, anything else you would like to add, Mack?
No, it's just an honor to be here with these other people. And that was 9 words. Go ahead.
Great.
It sounded genuine, Mac. It sounded really genuine.
Yes.
I was
Mac,
limited.
You like long walks on the beach?
Yes, I do, but I had 10 words.
You know, sincerity is the most important thing in life. If you can fake that, you have it made.
You got it. I'll tell you, this
Okay,
guy,
so
he's our guru. Go ahead. Here
Coming
we go.
from a remote viewer, that means a lot.
Yes.
Okay, now there's a couple of precautions here.
Yes.
I am going to read each question, and I'm going to give you 20 seconds of solitude to write down your answer. Please don't say what you're thinking because we don't want to influence your fellow players.
Okay.
After the 20 seconds is up, I'll call you in a random order and I will record your answer. And then, having the answers all established, I'll tell you the correct answer.
Yes.
And typically, I'm going to add a little bit of insight to make the question and answer a bit more
Compelling.
colorful, let's say, or complete.
Someone keeps score.
All right, so are we ready for the first question?
Okay, Raven, you're going to keep score, right, Raven?
Mac?
Okay. All right, here we go.
I'm going to.
I just have to ask. This sounds more complicated than the earlier math challenge. we write it down. What do we hold up the paper and show it to you?
All right. No, we're gonna
read it.
I hope trust you on the honor system to read what you wrote down.
Figures.
So each of you has a piece of paper and a pen, right?
It's with trustworthy X. Okay. He trips on the honesty of the thing.
And have you written the numbers 1 to 10 in a column on the left?
Go ahead.
No.
Okay, well, please do that because you're going to be providing your answers next to the appropriate number.
Okay. Are you glad you're not playing there, Bonnie?
We can try this at home. This is great.
Right. Okay. All right, let's go. All right.
I'm glad I asked for clarification.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm amazed you have
Well,
a
let
pen
me know
there.
when everybody is ready, and I'll start with question 1.
Okay, I'm ready. Coco, you ready?
Ready?
I'm ready. Born ready, Mac. Born ready.
Here we go.
Okay. Question 1. Now, pay attention.
Okay.
This one, you have to really listen to this one. How many times did the big three, Franklin Roosevelt, Winston Churchill, and Joseph Stalin, meet during World War II? How many times did the big three, Roosevelt, Churchill, and Stalin, meet during the war? So it's a numerical answer. Just write the number down that you believe is correct. And in a few seconds, I'll come back and we'll reveal them.
Okay.
Is everybody ready?
Everyone ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's start with Agent X. What do you say?
I say 2 times. Potsdam and Malta.
Okay, Bill Ray?
Twice.
Twice.
Same place.
Okay. Mac?
Twice.
Cobra?
No, he suddenly lost his voice.
You lost.
Where's Cobra?
Unmute.
I said 3.
3.
Because I believe that there was a third meeting in the Middle East.
After,
Okay.
in
Well-
Tehran, after the war, though.
Yeah, here's the answer. Most of you got this right. The big three actually met twice at Tehran in late November of 43 and Yalta in February of 45. Now, there was another big three meeting in Potsdam, Germany, but it came after the war and after FDR died.
Okay.
So he could not have been there. It wasn't third,
The big
but it
two and
was
a half.
Truman, and it was after the war in July of 45.
Okay.
So
That's
this
right.
question,
On. Yeah.
Okay.
3 of you scored.
Okay.
Cobra can catch up, though.
Okay.
All right. Next question is a verbal answer,
Okay.
and the question is this: in 1929, what was 17-year-old Eva Braun doing when Adolf Hitler met her for the first time? In 1929, what was 17-year-old Eva Braun doing when Hitler met her?
Okay. I've written down my answer. I've rung in. They're writing a long time, these two. Go ahead. Everyone ready?
Okay. Does everybody have an answer written down?
Yes.
I
Okay.
do, but I didn't think it was going to be a romance.
Mac, what do you,
The
Mac,
Hallmark.
what do you say, Mac? You go first this time.
I think she was a photo model, like a model.
Okay.
Okay.
And Bill Ray, what do you say?
I said actress.
Actress. Okay. Cobra?
Actress.
Actress. And finally, Agent X.
I knew that stuff about the model and the actress, but you asked what was she doing? I
Right.
said
Well, there was-
picking flowers.
No, what was her activity? What was she doing?
Her occupation.
Okay, I thought what was she physically doing? I said
No,
picking
well,
flowers.
that's another.
That's all right.
Why do you
All
think
right.
it dirty? Filthy. Go ahead, please.
What do you think?
Yeah, what is the answer? What's he saying? X, you have any answer or you?
What she was doing, I
Professionally.
It was picking. Well, you didn't say that.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I think it was picking flowers.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Picking
Phil. What's the correct answer? If it's picking flowers, I'm
Okay.
going to go nuts.
The correct answer is she was a photographer's assistant and model for Heinrich Hoffmann, Hitler's personal photographer.
Mackie.
So on this one, Mac alone scores. Okay.
Okay. All right,
Mac, you're in
cheerleaders.
the lead with 2 points.
All you cheerleaders want to come over to
Okay.
my side now? Go ahead.
Yeah. Question 3 is again a number. How many crew members were there in a B-17 bomber on its mission?
Okay. Are we showing
how
our
many
answers?
guys climbed inside a B-17 and flew over Germany to drop its bombs?
Okay. I'm ready. Sorry. You're gonna have to play a fortune to Jeopardy for the music. Go ahead.
Everybody set?
Yes.
Okay, Agent X, what would you say?
How many
is the
people in
answer?
B-17?
I was going to go through it in my head, but I'm going to guess 9.
9. Bill Ray.
9.
You also say 9?
9, yes.
Okay, Mac?
11.
Cobra?
11.
Well, nobody got the correct answer, but you all score because the correct answer is 10.
10, huh? Wow. Okay. Okay.
So everybody gets a point for that one, which is pretty cool. I can tell you that by contrast, the B-52 nowadays has a crew of 5.
Mm-hmm.
The supersonic B-1 has a crew of 4. And the stealth bomber, the B-2, amazingly, only has a crew of 2.
2, yeah. You know what's funny?
Which is pretty amazing considering that can fly for hours and hours and hours.
About the B-2.
The reason why the B-17 had such a big crew is that just about half of them were gunners only.
Right.
Which are no longer on bombers.
Okay,
so now we move on to question 4, which again is this is a verbal answer.
All right.
It's for a very simple question.
Yes.
Who was codenamed Intrepid? Probably heard many times about someone codenamed Intrepid. Well, what was his real name? Okay. Does everybody have a guess?
Yes. A wild one.
I want to know what Raven's guesses are.
She's guessing wild.
She's laughing quite a bit there.
Why am I
Something
here?
funny going down there.
Okay, Cobra, would you like to...
Yeah, I remember this being connected with the Spy Master of, hopefully that's the right direction to go, and it was Sir Stevenson, I think.
So you say Stevenson, Spy Master. Okay, Agent X.
No, I don't have a name. I thought it was the dead guy that washed up on Portugal.
Yeah, okay. Bill Ray.
It was either Bill Donovan or his British contact who trained him prior to 41.
British contact.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, and then Mac.
I'm with X. I think it's the guy that washed up on the beach in Portugal.
Okay. The answer this time is William Stevenson, who was a Canadian businessman soldier who was placed in charge of the British security coordination for the Western Hemisphere, and he worked out of Rockefeller Center in New York City.
Oh, that's right.
So we actually have 2 that I'm going to give points for. Cobra actually named Stevenson, and Bill Ray knew that it was the British guy who trained William Donovan, who eventually established the OSS, and that's absolutely correct.
Good one, Bill.
Now, here's what's interesting about Stevenson. Just think about this.
She's showing us something.
We permitted.
Who's winning?
We permitted the British to have a spy agency headquartered in New York City prior to our entry in the war. Supposedly, it was to facilitate the British coordinating espionage in every other country in the northern and South American continents.
Right.
But naturally, their favorite target after they were set up was Washington, D.C., because Stevenson's objective was to get us into the war. So the more that Stevenson learned about how Roosevelt and other leaders were thinking, the better Churchill could be at interrelating with them and pushing them in the right direction.
Right. Yeah. We should say that we're playing the World War II trivia contest here on Mack Maloney's Military X Files. 4 of us are playing: myself, X, our good friend Bill Ray, and also Coco. Let me just ask the cheerleader, Switch. Are you enthralled by this? Are you learning anything, Switchy?
Actually, I am. I suspected this could have been, really kind of a, non-fest, but it's not at all.
Thanks for bringing that up in the meeting. Okay.
And what's also very entertaining is watching Raven's reactions to everything.
I can't
because she's creating her own answers in her head, and I'm getting some of them privately here, which I will not divulge. But they are hilarious.
What? Raven.
What's going on here?
Raven's doing comedy here.
Oh, really? Yeah.
She's not getting paid enough, guys.
Between you and Switch.
She's not just a hostess. She's a comedian.
Okay.
Great.
That's good.
Well, humor is wonderful.
Okay, yes, right.
I got to tell you, Commander, I'm very impressed with you getting that one.
Oh, I just happen to know because I'm a big spy kind of guy, so I remembered that name.
Yes.
Just kind of threw me off.
I'm an American spy kind of guy.
There we go. Yeah.
Not British.
Very funny, Alex. Okay, go ahead. Next question, please.
All right. The next question is also a numerical answer. How many B-25 medium bombers led by Jimmy Doolittle took off from the deck of the USS Hornet on April 18th, 1942 to bomb Japan? This was the top secret mission that was in retaliation for Pearl Harbor. It was a very ingenious combination of Army bombers that had never before taken off from a carrier, being properly trained by the Navy, and all of the bombers that day took off successfully and headed for Japan.
Right.
The question is, how many took off from that carrier's deck?
When what happened that day was this happened, a few months after Pearl Harbor, everyone in the United States was bumped out. They thought the Japanese were invulnerable, and it kind of looked like they were. And so they come up with this plan, and I wish that, that's another story, but they put Army bombers on a Navy carrier. Now, these are bombers, they're not small planes. They take off, they drop their bombs in Japan. They didn't do much damage, but the headlines that resulted, it was like a huge morale boost because all of a sudden it's like, now we're bombing them, and they had to bring lots of people and equipment home to protect the home island. So this little kind of raid really had big ramifications, and Jimmy Doolittle, went on to win the war in Europe, actually. But that's another show. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right. So, does everybody have an answer?
Yes.
Okay. This time I will start with Agent X. What is your numerical answer?
It's a great question. I should know. I'm going to guess 5, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Mac?
13.
13. Cobra?
I have a little inside knowledge in this one, so I need to declare that. 16.
16. Okay. And finally, Bill Ray.
The last time we had an Air Force question, the answer was 10, so I stuck with it, 10.
Okay. All right. The answer is 16.
Oh, Coco.
Now, it was really amazing how they crammed 16 bombers onto that. And remember, they had to leave enough room in the front of the flight deck to take off.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Which required a lot of training. They only had, I think, something like 300 feet, when normally it would probably take 1,000.
Crazy. Yeah.
However, I now want to point out that this question has a bonus.
Should we do the score?
And
let's announce the score. Raven, do you have the score? Is that what you've been writing there? Okay, please.
I've been writing the score.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I have, as of this question, before the bonus, I have Coco, Mac, and Bill Ray tied at 3, and I have X following at 2.
X is losing. Is that right?
And Mac has 2.
Yeah. No, Mac
has 2. Agent X has 2.
Oh, Mac has 2? How did I get
No, Mac has 3. Mac has 3.
Okay.
No? Okay. What does Mac have?
No, you only have 2.
I only have 2?
You got the first 2 right.
Yeah, but I didn't. I see. You're right.
You're
absolutely right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the bonus question.
Thanks,
now, everybody can be thinking about the answer, but only Cobra can answer it. And you can answer it verbally because there's no competition.
All right.
The bonus question is, all 16 bombers were forced to take off much earlier than planned because a Japanese picket boat spotted the carrier and its escorts. So instead of taking off and flying by night and arriving over China by day and landing on improvised fields, they had to take off by day, fly over China at night. They ran out of gas. The question is, how many of the 16 did not crash? In other words, how many of the 16 actually landed wheels down?
Including the one in Russia?
Including the one in Russia.
I believe it is 7.
If only you had stuck with Russia, you would have been right.
Wow.
No, there was only one.
Oh, you said wheels down. Good on you.
No, wait a minute.
Good on you. That was well done.
Yeah, I did say wheels down. Only one. And the reason why
he loses,
one plane landed near Vladivostok, which was against orders because Russia was neutral vis-a-vis Japan, and the American pilots were told, don't go to Russia. Why did that one bomber disobey orders? It's because
they had a mission.
Well, it was commanded by Captain Ed York, and his plane was last in line. And when the plane in front of him was being maneuvered into takeoff position, a part of that plane broke the plexiglass nose of Captain York's plane. So there was a hole, probably about 18 or maybe 12 inches or 18 inches across. And no matter what they tried to do during the flight, they couldn't plug it, which meant that drag was burning fuel at an alarming rate. So after they dropped their bombs on their target, they all decided, we're never going to make China. We're going to crash in the water. The only alternative is Vladivostok.
Can I just look at my score again, please? I got a photo model correct. I got
right, and you got 2 for the first answer.
So I have 3.
By the way, I know why Bill got that last one wrong.
How many
points? Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, Mack is absolutely right. Mack is right. He's got 3 points.
Thank you, Raven.
Mack's got 3. It's my fault.
I think I should get a point because
the big one here. Okay, so we got.
All right, so he has 3. Okay,
he's got 3. All right,
let's go.
Now the next question I think is fairly intriguing.
Okay.
The V1 was a German cruise missile whose target was London. The V2 was a ballistic missile whose target was London. Now, while never completed, what was the V3 and what was its target? So this is a 2-part question. What was the V3 and what was its target?
I'm ready.
Ready.
Okay, Mack, we'll start with you this time.
Oh, damn it. I think it was a gun, and I think it was aimed at London.
Gun aimed at London. All right. Next, Agent X.
I'm just going to guess from context. I would say it was a intercontinental missile aimed at USA.
Okay. Cobra.
Cannon, as far as I remember, and it has a very interesting history because I believe Saddam Hussein tried to follow the same method, and I believe it was another London or northern France kind of.
Yep,
that's where they shot him from.
Okay. And finally, Bill Ray.
I believe it was a Wunderwaffen, and the target was USA, but it never came to fruition.
What did you say? What did you say it was?
Wunderwaffen. A wonder weapon.
Yeah, wonder weapon. Okay, and USA. Well, the answer is it was to be the world's first intercontinental ballistic missile. And it was consisting of a huge 87-ton A3 booster with a V2 on top of it. So the answer is it was an ICBM, and its target was specifically New York, but really anywhere in the U.S. that it could reach. Okay. So that being the case...
So, I was going to ask you, Phil, so what does that mean? Who got that right and who got it wrong?
Right. Well, 2 of you got it right. The ones who mentioned gun did not, because that is a specific weapon, but it's not the V3.
Okay.
So Agent X and Bill Ray both said substantially the correct answer. So each is going to score 1 point for that.
Okay.
Man.
All right.
X.
And that takes us through 6.
Go ahead. Question 7.
Question 7 is the following. On December 7th, 1941, all of the U.S. battleships at Pearl Harbor were damaged, sunk, or beached. How many battleships were there that day? All of them were damaged, sunk, or beached. How many were there? And here's one hint. Each was named after a state in the Union. Not that helps you, but that's how they named battleships.
I'm ready. What are you drinking there, Raven? Is that a ginger ale? Surprise looking at me.
For those that can't see Raven right now, she frowned when Matt.
Oh, I see.
It's just a water.
Just water.
And I have my beer.
Water.
Two-fisted.
Bill Ray, what do you say?
Yeah, all these Air Force and Navy questions here.
Tsunami guy.
I can recall the name, I think 5.
5. Okay. Mack?
6.
6. Agent X?
I'm going to say 5, too.
1985.
And complained vociferously about Air Force and Navy
Cobra
questions as well.
Again, some inside hockey here. I apologize, but I was based out of Pearl Harbor a number of times, sailed in and out of there. 8.
8 is the correct answer.
Oh, man.
And this is a bonus question. So again, Cobra's got it.
Coco.
And once again, he gets a chance to get an extra point. The bonus question is, how many of the 8 battleships, are you there, Cobra?
Yes.
I am.
Okay. How many of those 8 battleships were repaired and rejoined the fleet?
I believe that is 7.
You're close. The answer was
6 or 7.
6.
6.
The USS Arizona blew up and was totally beyond repair.
Right.
That's where most of the casualties occurred at Pearl Harbor. When that thing exploded.
Yep.
It's now a memorial. The USS Oklahoma capsized. It was eventually righted because it was, it was inconvenient to have this in the harbor, but it was too far gone to return to service. So after the war, it was sold for scrap, and after being refloated, was on its way to San Francisco under tow when it floundered in a storm and sunk into the deep Pacific.
Wow.
No one knows where it is.
Yikes. Wow. There's a story.
And Phil, I'm not doubting you, but every one of those, you said battleships.
Yes.
They were not cruisers.
Battleships.
Not destroyers.
Right.
Nope.
Battleships.
Right.
Okay.
The battle wagons, the big guys.
They're named after states.
By the way, they were all old. Every single one of those battleships really dated to the World War I or the 1920s.
I was going to say, I didn't think they had that.
But I can't say anything more about that because that's going to be a question.
Okay, go ahead. Next question.
Here's an interesting question. How many A-bombs did the U.S. have in inventory after dropping the second one on Nagasaki?
Oh, this is going to have some technical fighting on this one.
Well,
A-bomb.
This means that on the day that the bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, how many were ready to go? If that helps you. How many more do we have ready to go if we had to keep bombing Japan?
I'm ready.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Agent X, what do you say?
I'm going to give an answer, and I'm going to agree with Commander on this one.
He hasn't even given his answer.
I think it's a technical one.
Go ahead.
0.
0. Okay, Bill Ray?
0.
Mac?
0.
And finally, Cobra?
0.
All right, you all score for this one. That is absolutely correct because the third bomb was not ready in the States until August 17th, which was a week later. And it would have taken at least 2 more weeks to get it to Guam. So in the event the Japanese had not surrendered, it would have been at least 3 weeks and more probably 4 weeks before we could have dropped another one to convince them that they would keep coming.
It wasn't enough.
That's good. You guys all got a point.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. This next question, we've only got 2 to go now. This one is, I find this one pretty interesting myself.
Okay.
What was the greatest achievement of the experimental Junkers 390 6th-engine bomber? This was a German bomber that they had developed during the war. It was rather huge with 6 engines. Okay. What was its greatest achievement? Okay, do we have 4 answers?
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna call it technical on this one, I think, too.
Yeah, me too.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, Cobra, how about if you go first?
The only thing I remember about this particular bomber, and you're talking about 6-engine bomber.
Yes.
I thought it was because it used diesel engines.
Go ahead.
That's the only thing I could come up with.
Okay, diesel engines.
Diesel engines.
All right, Agent X.
I just think it's a general question with maybe a number of answers, but you're the expert.
Go ahead.
I would just say it was payload.
Payload. Okay. Bill Ray.
I went with the diesel engines. Another Air Force question.
Listen,
okay, finally, Mac.
If you want us to slow this down for you Army guys, we'll do that.
Well, the next question is an Army question, so we'll make up.
My question, my answer is it flew to South America.
Flew to South America. Oh, so close. The answer is purportedly, it flew to within 18 miles of New York City on a test flight undetected.
Wow, okay.
To prove that if they wanted to, they could have bombed New York.
Right, the New York.
But given this was 1944, and given all the other priorities in the war, they really couldn't put the time and effort into it.
Now, do I get one
Hitler
point,
wanted everything,
Phil?
Hitler wanted everything into the vengeance weapon program anyway. So.
Phil, do I get 1 point because I said America? It flew to in America.
Well, I'm going to give you a half. I'm going to give you a half point.
Okay, the half point, man. Bookies love that. They love the half point. Okay, let's go.
All right, last question. Then we're going to total up round one. Stalingrad was Germany's greatest defeat. It lost 600,000 killed, captured, and wounded during the campaign. Here's the question, though. How many Russian casualties were there at Stalingrad? The Germans lost 600 killed, captured, wounded. How many Russian casualties were there?
Civilian and military, or just military?
Just military.
Well, Raven, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of glad that nobody is counting on me to win this. In Radioland.
Agreed.
That's not good.
Do we all have an answer?
That's not good talk from a cheerleader, Switchy. I do. I'm ready.
All right. What do you say, Mac?
1 million.
1 million, says Mac. Bill Ray?
1 million.
1 million. Agent X?
8.5 million.
8.5 million.
Half million.
Whoa, that's all right. Cobra?
I'm sorry. You said 8.5K.
All right, 850,000.
Yeah.
That's a good guess. All right, and finally, Cobra.
I'm going to say 1 million.
All right. The three who said 1 million each score 1 point.
Yes.
Because the actual total was 1.13 million.
Wow.
And the significance was the Russians could afford to lose those casualties, but Germany could not. And that's one of the reasons why Stalingrad was Germany's greatest defeat.
When you see the photograph of when Germany took over France, and there's a famous photograph of them, of these Nazis marching through the Arc de Triomphe. There's a guy leading him with, that's the 6th Army.
Parade, yeah.
Yeah, that's the 6th Army. They went to Stalingrad, and they're the ones who got decimated.
Phil,
They had to surrender, yeah.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Just in case you know it.
Army guy.
Everything I know about Stalingrad is far more civilians were killed than Russian military.
Okay. No.
That's not correct.
That's not right.
It wasn't that big a town, and a lot of them got out across the river. I think there were something like 200,000 civilian casualties, perhaps.
There you go.
But it was since it was not a huge city, it was really just symbolic. The real value of Stalingrad, had the Germans captured it, is that they would have controlled the Volga River, which was the main artery bringing oil up from the oil fields in southern Russia to Moscow and to the north. So if they got Stalingrad and pinched it at that point, the Russians would be out of oil.
No, I'll buy that.
Right.
And psychologically, being named for Stalin, it was also a huge.
St. Petersburg.
Okay.
I may be thinking about when they just killed so many civilians.
Oh, St. Petersburg.
Coming into Stalingrad, they killed so many civilians.
I think over 1 million in Leningrad alone.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, according to my calculations,
Yes.
I have Cobra and Bill Ray tied for the lead with 6. Is that right, Raven?
Cobra and Bill Ray tied at 6.
All right, that means we have to go to a tiebreaker, which I'm prepared for, but didn't think that I would have to use.
He didn't mention us, X. So what was X and what was our score?
All right, Mac, you got 4.5 and X got 4. That's what I think I've got down here.
That's what I have.
Okay, good.
You guys did great.
No, we didn't.
Aggressive. Be aggressive.
Go team.
All right, here's the tiebreaker.
Uh-oh.
And this is only for Cobra and Bill Ray. And the tiebreaker is the Allies expected to suffer 70,000 casualties on D-Day. How many did they actually suffer?
Okay. Clarify casualties, please. Clarify
Casualties
what casualty means.
Dead, wounded, missing.
Not dead, just dead, wounded, missing.
Wounded, missing. They expected 70,000 dead, wounded, missing.
Do you have to give an exact number, or
how many thousands?
How many thousands?
So you can say 25,000, 120,000, 59,000. Yeah. because I rounded off the casualties to 70,000 for the estimate.
Okay, throw a number out there, CC.
Okay, so Bill Ray,
I'm going to say 200,000.
And who said that? I'm sorry.
Cobra.
Cobra says 200. And Bill Ray, what do you say?
15,000.
15,000. The actual answer is 10,000.
Wow.
Bill Ray, you get the bonus point. You and Cobra are going to the second round.
Wow.
You are the round 1 winner with 7.
The Army guy won.
We're going to Disneyland.
Yeah, no, listen. But he's the guy who looks.
Applause?
Yes, I'll put it in. But he's the guy who looks into the future. No wonder he won.
I knew you were going to say that.
All right, listen. Why don't we take a commercial break now? I think it's well needed. Coco, Juan-Juan, you awake there, Jasper?
I'm enjoying it. It's like
Are you really?
It's like being in school.
Okay, it looks like he's doing his homework over there.
The listeners, Mac, the listeners are going to really enjoy this. This is great.
Yeah, I hope so, Switchy. Okay.
I got to tell you, Mac, you and Agent X can be cheerleaders, and you can also be agitators in this next round.
We'll be agitators. Don't worry.
That's what we need.
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to take a commercial break now. And we're all going to take a break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Mack Maloney's Mill Track Style Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. Special night, World War II Trivia Night. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Mack Maloney's Mill Track Style Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This is Macaroni. Wow, what a special night we have tonight. World War II Trivia Contest. I've already been eliminated, by the way, and so is Agent X. But anyway.
It's shocking, actually.
That voice you hear, girls, if you're not already sitting down and fanning yourself very fast. One, want to see a Wani.
Hello, girls. Hello, Mac.
Coco.
I like the trivia contest. It's great.
Coco was here. He already has
always a privilege to be on the wing, Mac.
Already has the crown on. He's so sure he's going to win. One piece of lemon cake into the day. Switchblade Steve Ward for breakfast. Switchy.
Great to be here.
Yep. Okay. Were you running around the house like
Still
a nut with all
the energy from the cake?
I was going to say all the sugar. You're a sugar high all day, right?
Oh yeah.
That's why you're so nutty now. Okay. Raven is with us. Raven, how you doing? How can you stand this, really, Raven?
Hey, Raven. What's up?
Hello. I'm having a good time.
You'd say that anyway.
Excellent.
Where are my shades?
No, that's not true.
She's got the
I always say I'm
incense
having a good
and
time
peppermint.
because I am.
Yes. There's one speaking over your lines.
Very gracious.
Agent X is here. He's paid his electric bill. His lights are on. Exy.
Yes, thanks for having me. I've already been eliminated as well, Mac, and I blame that on our disadvantaged upbringing.
Right.
Like the rest of
Dorchester, it's the Boston school system. It's an indictment on the Boston school system. One of many. Okay. Phil Orbanes is our Alex Trebek tonight, and also Bill Ray is joining us. Turns out Bill Ray won, in quotes, the first round, but he does see into the future. I think that should have been a disqualify. Who vetted him for this?
Well, there you go.
I'd like to retire undefeated if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, he would have got every answer right. That's true. Okay. All right, so Phil, I'm going to turn it over to you. Phil Orbanes.
All right.
Round 2.
All right. Round 2. Question 1. The information that I'm going to read is rather long, but the question itself is very simple. So here's the background. While the Type 7 U-boat remained the workhorse of the German Navy, it became increasingly vulnerable to Allied anti-submarine weapons as the war progressed. In response, the Germans designed the revolutionary Type 21, the first true submarine. Not only did it carry 23 power-loaded torpedoes, it could remain submerged for days, not just hours, as all prior submarines. And here comes the question, even its manufacture was revolutionary. William Leavitt would have approved. What was so unique about the construction of the German Type 21 U-boat?
Bill Ray, where's your ESP now?
It deserted me.
Yeah, okay.
I gave a very strong hint in the reading, if you were paying attention.
Okay.
Okay, do you both have answers?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Creeper.
This is wicked easy.
Yeah, come on, Coco.
Holy.
Okay, I guess I got my answer.
What's your answer, Cobra?
I'm going to go with I think it's probably the first submarine that used a snorkel.
Snorkel. Okay, Bill Ray.
You said construction, so I said it was prefab put together and the pieces put together later.
Well, that's an outstandingly accurate answer because I gave you the little hint. William Levitt would have approved, and Bill Levitt was the guy who built Levittown and all those prefab communities after the war.
This is fixed.
And here's what was so unique about the Type 21: it was modular. It was built remotely in 9 sections. All were brought, I guess, by river to the shipyard for final assembly. And the reason for that was they didn't want them being sitting ducks during that long construction period.
Yeah, right, yeah.
One of the problems was that a lot of the vendors who built these sections had not built ships before, so there were growing pains. But if they had gotten these much earlier in the war, we would have had hell to pay because they were stealthy, they were very streamlined, and yes, they had a very advanced snorkel, but they weren't the first one, Cobra, with the snorkel.
Can I just say something, please?
Well, the Battle of the Atlantic, the longest battle of World War II, would have definitely been even more terrible if these had ever made it to sea.
Switchy.
That's absolutely
Switchy.
Is that how they recharge their battery with the snorkel, still staying submerged?
Yeah.
So that they could.
No, the snorkel permitted air to reach the diesel engine.
They didn't have those.
And
they
also,
didn't
it
have
meant that they could refresh the air inside the. But a lot of the early snorkels on the Type 7s were improvised. The Type 21 had a snorkel that raised and lowered, just like the.
It was a mechanical design,
right? And it was much more advanced, and it operated very, very smoothly.
Switchy.
How could a diesel boat stay submerged so long?
Because the air would come in the snorkel.
Okay.
The exhaust would go out the second pipe of the snorkel. It would be pumped out. Yeah, it was, and also the engine compartment was sealed, so none of the air in the engine compartment would circulate through the rest of the vessel. Okay.
Switchy.
What?
Switchy. Hang on. Switch.
Yes.
You're a former submarine veteran, correct? You're on the USS Tuna Fish, right?
Yes.
Okay. Would you get on a submarine?
Close.
Would you get on a submarine that is taking baby steps? You know what I mean? Growing pains. Wouldn't you want to be on a submarine?
A diesel boat?
Yes. No, any kind of submarine. Wouldn't you want to be on one that they get all the rivets right and so on?
Well, with hindsight, a lot of the diesel boats were lost in the war. So, but if I didn't know it at the time, I probably wouldn't be worrying about it so much.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, the Type 21, a lot of them were captured and brought to America. The Russians got their shares, and the first designs of diesel-powered submarines after the war were all based on the Type 21.
Okay.
So another German weapon that we profited from.
Next question.
Okay, next question. You ready?
Yep.
Who got a point?
What high-ranking German?
Bill Ray.
A skilled.
Bill Ray did.
Wait. Am I going or not?
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
What high-ranking German, a skilled pilot, flew a 2-engine fighter from Germany to Scotland on 10 May 1941 to negotiate a peace with England by way of a Scottish lord? What high-ranking German, who was a skilled pilot, flew a 2-engine fighter from Germany to Scotland in May of 1941 in an attempt to negotiate a peace with England via a Scottish lord who happened to be in favor of peace?
They get easier and easier.
Yes, they do.
You ain't kidding.
I don't think Bill needs any time on this one.
Okay.
All right, Bill, what do you say?
Go ahead.
I say Spears.
You say
Really? I'm shocked, Billy. I'm shocked. I'm gonna go with Rudolf Hess.
Correct.
Right.
That's it.
And he died in Spandau.
Yes.
The answer is
Another great conspiracy of all time.
This is kind of weird about this guy because Kober's absolutely correct. It was Rudolf Hess, who was the third-ranking Nazi. He actually attempted this mission twice before, but weather forced him to return. And at neither time did Hitler find out what he was trying to do. He really thought that he had to do this to bring the war to an end because Hitler, quite frankly, really didn't want to kill England. He wanted to kill Russia. Hess was captured, and for some reason, the British decided to never give him a break.
Right.
And so, just as Kober pointed out, he died in Spandau. He hung himself when he was 90 or something.
But did he? Yeah, a 90-year-old man killed himself in the garden. Please.
Yeah.
Is that a clue? Is that one of your clue games?
Well, I think,
Just like that.
Bill, you and I were over there when he did that. We're over in Germany. And you'll kick yourself. Where did, and this is a bonus point for Phil, where did he take off from?
I think it was near Munich.
It was Garblingen, Lechfelden, and you remember what was there, Phil?
Yes.
In Garblingen, the elephant cage.
I was there for 9 years.
Of course you were.
Of course I was.
Do you have any beer halls there?
Know that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well.
So anyways, I'm glad you guys had some insight into that one.
Okay.
The next question is about General Douglas MacArthur. By what means was General MacArthur extracted from the Japanese siege of Corregidor Island on the 12th of March, 1942?
Are these the
this
hard
seems to
questions?
be pretty easy, Phil. You're going gentle on us, I think.
Well, they're going to get tougher.
Why us? Okay, go ahead, please.
Ready.
Okay, so Cobra, what do you? Are you guys ready? Do you have an
I
answer?
remember it as PT torpedo boats.
It was there.
That's how he went
boats.
off.
Okay. Bill Ray,
Yep.
what do you say?
PT boat.
PT boat. Okay, you're both correct. And this is not for a bonus score, but just to see if you know, where did they take him? And then what means did they use to get him to Australia?
I believe he flew to Australia, and I can't remember what island he went to.
Close by.
Bill Ray?
Philippines, no.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he went from Corregidor, which is in Manila Bay, down to the big island underneath Luzon, which is Mindanao, where a B-17 flew him, his family, and a few others to Australia. By the way, Corregidor is one of those places that I had the opportunity to visit many years ago. On the island, which has 3 levels, the enlisted men on level 2 had a huge barracks that seemed to be a mile long, and it was pretty badly destroyed by Japanese artillery from Bataan. The top side level, which is where the officers had their homes, a movie theater, a bowling alley, MacArthur lived there, most of the time. It was absolutely level. So rank did not protect you if you were on Corregidor. And of course, all the surviving officers and men had a hideout in Malinta Tunnel until the surrender, which I think took place in May of 42.
Hey, Phil, now that you're asking all these easy questions, I have another bonus question for you on this very subject.
Yeah?
When he was taking off of the island, and of course, we all know what happened to thousands of...
He left a lot of people behind.
The Bataan March,
Yep, the Bataan March.
Yes. On the PT boat, who was the non-American that was taken off with him, and what was her name?
Well, I don't remember her name, but I think she was the ama to his son. She was the caregiver to his son.
She was the nanny, that's correct.
The nanny, or the ama, as they would say in the Philippines, yeah.
But the best part of that story is her name.
Oh, I don't know her name.
Let's have it.
See,
let's have it.
Achu.
Achu.
God bless you.
Achu.
Oh, that's great.
So, was her last name Gesundheit?
Yeah.
Switch.
Sorry.
All right. This question.
We get all these Air Force questions.
Thanks for that, Journey X.
All right. This is an Army question, and it's somewhat tougher. George Patton became one of World War II most famous generals, but his first experience in motorized combat years earlier was chasing a notorious bandit. Who was it?
Oh, it's the. I'm sorry.
Come on.
Who was it and when?
X. Let's countersue you and me, okay? Because these questions have got. We're down to 5th grade level here now. Go ahead, please. Don't let me interrupt.
Ready?
Who was it and when?
Go ahead.
All right, Cobra, you want to go first this time?
Yes, I'm pretty sure you're referring to is his time in the cavalry chasing Pancho Villa.
And what year was it?
Oh, my goodness gracious. Let me think.
There's got to be a tougher part to
That's a good one.
It's the 1900s. I'm going to say 1910.
All right. Bill Ray, what do you say?
Joe Villa, it would have been 1916, and Blackjack didn't want to take him. He camped outside his door until he finally said, okay, you can come along.
Blackjack Pershing.
Well, the answer is Bill Ray is going to get a full point for that because it was Pancho Villa. The year was 1916. Wow. Cobra gets a half point, and you might find this interesting. Although they did not capture Villa, Patton ordered the corpses of 3 of Villa's men to be strapped to the hoods of his automobiles like trophy animals.
Wow.
So they didn't have tanks. They had, they had sort of modified automobiles to go chasing after him.
Cool.
And he did get 3 of his men, and he displayed them rather brutally.
Nice.
Mechanized is mechanized.
Okay, let's go.
Right.
Here we go.
All right.
Yep.
Next question, also an Army question.
See.
What was General Erwin Rommel doing when the D-Day invasion began?
Come on. Now, wait a minute. Let's stop here for a second. Phil, I'm not...
Sour grapes.
Did you... It's not sour grapes. It's. Did you get them mixed up? Why do we get these questions at first? Gee.
Ready?
Yeah, of
All right,
course.
Bill Ray, what did you say?
He was visiting his wife. It was her birthday.
Wife birthday. And Cobra?
Same thing, birthday.
All right, you guys both got it right. I thought your listeners, though, would appreciate knowing that, because the reason why he had left is that his weather forecaster said there was no way an invasion could take place on June 5, 6, or 7 of 44. So he left to go home to celebrate his wife's birthday. He brought her a pair of shoes from Paris. His home was near Ulm, which was 100 miles from the French border. But he was back in Normandy by 10 o'clock that night on the 6th of June, taking command. All right.
Directly related to that question,
he
too.
didn't do a good job.
You know this?
Go ahead.
You were talking about, the first one was about General Patton. The second one is about General Rommel. In the 1970s and early 80s, General Patton Jr., who was the deputy commander of 7th Corps, was in Stuttgart. And who was the mayor of Stuttgart at that time, with whom General Patton became very good friends?
Ray Flynn.
Rommel's son?
Okay. Yeah, Rommel's son. Butch Rommel.
What's his first name?
Butch.
Wolfgang.
Wolfgang. Okay, so, Phil.
Manfred Rommel.
Phil, where are we?
Rommel.
Where are we here?
Yeah.
Okay. We're at question 6.
Okay.
Who was Kate Summersby? Who was Kay Summersby?
Come on.
Okay, Kay Summersby.
This is a joke, right? You guys got...
Ready?
Was she a singer?
Yep. Cobra?
I'm going to pitch. I have no idea.
Oh, you're full.
Question mark. Okay, Mac.
Stop it.
All right.
You know who she is?
Bill Ray?
It was Ike's driver. She was the captain. She was British, but made captain in the American Army and was rumored to be his mistress.
Okay. The answer is that the first part, she was Eisenhower's chauffeur and later personal secretary.
Yes.
And according to the research that I've done, a lot of Eisenhower's opponents tried to prove that they had an affair. In reality, the best that could be proved was that he kissed her once, and people saw that.
That's enough.
Okay.
And the rest of
where
that
he kissed
story
her,
is she had British nationality, but she was actually Irish.
And Juan-Juan also wants to know, where did he kiss her? That's important to him.
On the lips.
On the lips.
But she...
Okay, so...
Somebody must have taken a picture of that.
Well, let's look for it. Go ahead. There we go.
Question 7. What was the first American fighter aircraft to appear regularly over Berlin during the last 12 months of the war?
That's it. I'm protesting right now. X, you with me?
I agree.
Okay.
Agreed. 100%. I knew this in the 3rd grade.
Well, you guys won't get the last 3, but I'm giving you the last.
Okay.
Easy
All right.
ones.
Okay.
All right.
They really are hecklers, aren't they? I thought that was a joke, but no, they're hecklers.
Go ahead.
Well,
We're supposed to be cheering these guys on.
Excuse
Bill
me?
Ray, what do you say the answer is?
Oh, I said the Mustang, P-51.
You said the Mustang.
That's correct.
What's its numerical designation?
P-51.
Okay, Cobra, what do you say?
It would be the D model of the P-51.
P-51D. You guys both get a point.
Yay! Yeah. The losers heckle, the winners get a point.
Wow.
These last 3 questions, I don't think I mean, you're going to score because 2 of them are numbers, but I don't think you're going to get them.
Okay.
All right. How many new battleships did the United States launch during World War II?
Whoa. How many battleships?
Don't say 8. That was the answer to Pearl Harbor.
Well, we had 8 at Pearl Harbor, but I think we had 6 in other locations.
Okay.
So I think we started the war with 14 rather antiquated battleships. By the way, the 6 that were sunk at Pearl Harbor and brought back into service, they were all modernized to the greatest extent possible. So they were kind of hybrids. But this is all brand new battleships that were built and entered service for the first time during the war. How many were there? You think you got an answer to this one, Mac?
Yes.
Is this an easy question?
Yes. No, it's not easy, but I think I know it. Within 2 or 3.
Well, why don't you write it down so you can prove it to us? Okay. I'm going to go to Cobra first. What do you think the answer is?
I'm going to say battleships. World War II, new construction. I'm going to say 25.
Whoa. By the way, we did make a lot of aircraft carriers, probably more than 25. Bill Ray, what do you say?
Built and entered service. I'm going to say 0.
You must say 0.
I say it was carriers that we were going for. Iowa may have come, but I don't know.
Okay. The answer is 10. There were 2 North Carolina class, 4 South Dakota, 4 Iowa class. All 10 had 9 16-inch diameter main guns.
Wow. Huge.
By comparison, the Japanese only completed 2 battleships during the war, but both were monsters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Yamamoto and the Musashi.
Musashi, right. So this is interesting. By guessing 0, Bill Ray is actually closer, and he gets the point.
Wow, yes. What is this with this guy? I put 10 down, by the way, Phil. I put 10 down.
Oh, you did that.
Whoa, how about that?
10 is right.
I can't get over Kate Summers.
Okay, let's go.
All right, well, now the next one is sort of it follows up naturally to the prior one. The Japanese battleship Yamato had 9 18-inch diameter guns, the largest ever made. How many pounds did each of its shells weigh?
Boy, not so easy now, huh, Mac?
Ah.
No, I got an answer.
All right. Okay. Bill Ray, what do you say?
I say 1 ton, 2,000 pounds.
2,000 pounds. Cobra, what do you say?
I'm going to play 3,000 pounds.
3,000. And Mac, just for the record, what do you say?
I would have said 2,500. I showed it to JJ.
2,500.
Yep.
Well, in this case, Cobra gets the point because the actual answer is 3,100 pounds.
That's huge.
And here's the thing. They could fire those 18-inch guns 26 miles. Now, think about this because at 100, and I looked this up online, at 100 feet above sea level, you can see 13 miles to the horizon. Mm-hmm. So if you're at the observation level of the battleship at 100 feet, you can see 13 miles. This one could shoot way over the horizon.
These are guns, single guns that can shoot a shell the weight of a Volkswagen. 30 miles.
Toyota.
Yeah,
Toyota.
Right.
30 miles.
9, and by the way,
Just one.
9 at a time. So if you happen to, if all 9 of your shells actually hit, my God, that's what, 13.5 tons of explosives at one time? Okay.
It's gonna ruin
the
your
last
day.
question here is an Army question.
Oh.
It's a number.
Okay.
So somebody, again, is going to score for this one. Ace German tank commander Kurt Nipsel, while controlling the war's best tank, the King Tiger, became the highest scoring tank commander of all time. How many enemy tanks did he and his crew destroy? Everybody have an answer? Who's competing? All right. Bill Ray, what do you say?
I say 51.
51. Cobra?
I'm going to say, just to be obstinate, 160. How's that?
All right. And Mac, what do you say?
I would
Just for
say,
the hell of it. Did you come up with a number?
between 45 and 50 is what I said.
45 and 50. Well, Cobra is amazingly close. The answer was 168. One guy, 168. Sad, and he was on the Eastern Front.
Mm-hmm.
But sadly, just 1 week before the war ended, he was killed in a Russian tank battle where he was out. I think he was outnumbered 10-1. So the poor guy didn't make it to the end.
Yeah, well, sadly.
So
another easy, as Mac knows. Before I went in,
let's go. Let's put together the lawsuit. It'll be one of those civil suits.
Basic course. Bill Ray never was in armor. If you had been there and you've been
light infantry.
All right, Raven, were you keeping score?
I was. So did Coco get the point for that last one?
He did.
Okay, so then it would be 6.5 to 6. That's what I have.
Oh, with the half.
Coco 6.5. Bill Ray is 6.
So if I knew the inside track on the Love Life driver of Ike, I would be in the winner's circle.
You are in the winner's circle. You're not.
Yeah.
You are in the winner's circle.
You won.
No, I thought, Billy, you have 6.5. I don't.
No. I misspoke. You do.
Cobra has 6.5.
Coco, you won. Coco, you won.
Wow.
Yes.
So
I feel like that tank commander guy was at 168.
I mean, how close can you get on that? And by the way, this is the game the lucky listener is going to receive thanks to your victory tonight.
Okay, that's Risk
Europe.
Risk Europe. Okay, let's all clap, and then we will sweeten it up.
Oh my God, everyone, it's a victory
Come post. Okay.
Raven, I need you to say this on the air. Everybody's a winner.
Yes.
Everybody's a winner.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Everyone gets a trophy.
We're living the dream.
Second prize is the case of the Irishman.
Another day in paradise.
Okay.
Phil, I got to admit, you really threw me. I was hoping for how many victories of Eric Hartman.
What?
I was ready for some really cool stuff there.
I was ready for who won.
Well,
think about it. Is this on?
I got a blank on Hess. I didn't.
Even though Coco won, he didn't know who Ah Chu was.
No, I did not. But I did know who Hess was, though.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's what counts. Hey,
well, this is a good experience for me because I wasn't sure until we actually played one round.
Yes.
Whether the questions were too easy or too difficult.
They're too difficult.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. All right. Okay.
That's coming from the winner.
Right, from the winner. It's
I mean,
easier.
I feel like for me they're too difficult because
Yes.
I knew one question.
If
So that's a good thing, though.
If
you knew who Kate Summersby was.
Yep.
No, I lied. I knew
sexist.
no questions.
That's sexist. I thought he was going to say Kate Beckinsale, and all of a sudden,
as a lifetime,
Juan-Juan goes to the roof.
George Patton, I cannot believe I did not know 1916, and I said 1910. I just
you know what? I didn't think. I wouldn't have said 1916 because it was so close to World War I. I was thinking, was it way before World War I or was it afterwards? And
an interesting footnote on that particular war. That was the first time the Army Air Corps sent their airplanes to support the ground troops, and it was a complete unmitigated disaster. Overheating airplanes, forts down. The Mexican Army captured one of the planes and really destroyed it. Pretty tough.
The Mexicans kind of won that war. Yeah. Yes. Right. Yeah. So listen, hey, Phil Orbanes, tell us about your company, Winning Moves, please.
Well, Winning Moves is celebrating its 26th year now. It's was originally started by me and 3 other veterans of the game industry who had worked previously for Parker Brothers and Milton Bradley, the 2 great game companies. We always felt that with changing times, with electronic games becoming the focus of attention of all the large game companies, that classic board games had a home among people who really appreciated them growing up. So Winning Moves has flourished by under license primarily from Hasbro or Rubik's, bringing back to market with very high quality all the classic games, whether it's Monopoly from the 80s or the classic version of Sorry or Boggle or Risk or Clue, great card games, and Rubik's in particular in the puzzle field. That's Winning Moves. And I turned over management back in 2013 to the executives that I had hired, and I am happy to tell you they've done far better than I did.
Wow, good
for you. I thought I did pretty well. So things are going well.
Phil,
Mac?
Yes, go ahead.
Mac, I want to throw one quick play. When folks get through reading all your fine books to put up and get through X's book, Phil has a great book, Tortured Cardboard, that is really quite an interesting book if you're interested in anything that's business of the game and the whole business of the board game. It's really, really cool.
Great title.
Yeah, and the history of just how these great inventions took place, which is, for the most part, just you would not be able to imagine how and who created these games.
Yeah, right. Games. Sure. It's a strange. Hey, listen, Phil, real quick. What makes a good game? Well,
good game is one where what happens off the board is more important than the board and the equipment itself.
Wow.
It's the interaction between the players, which is fresh and new every time, because people learn a great deal about human nature over a board game. And if the game stifles that, then the game pretty much dies.
Okay.
My favorite game is Twister for that reason.
Oh, brother. Well, I thought you were going to say Shoots and Ladders. Okay.
Exactly.
Hey, Phil, let me just throw something at you. I'm going to pitch you on this, okay? You ready? I think I already pitched you on this about 5 years ago, but I'll do it again. All right? We play, when we get together, my brother and his gang, we play a game called Name That Name. Name That Name. And what that is you have everyone writes down the name of a celebrity. You put it in a bowl. And you have a few beverages at the same time, okay?
That always works.
Right. And then you have
we played this at your house, didn't we, Matt?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. I'm surprised you can remember. Yeah. And then they read the names once, and then you have to guess who wrote the name down. So if Coco wrote down, lots of Lola or whatever, right? I'd go, is that you?
I would write down Ike's driver, obviously after tonight's shaming.
Of course. Okay, right. So, Phil, what's the matter with that game?
And Billy would put Rudolph Hess.
What's the matter with that game, Phil? Is it you have to be drunk to play it? Isn't that interaction with the people off the board?
Yeah, well, that's a requirement.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Goes without saying.
Name that name. Name that name. Okay, so listen, you're listening to Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network.
That's cool.
This is our World War II trivia contest. Wow. And Coco won, of all people. We should have bet it.
Were you surprised?
No, I'm not.
By a mere half point.
Yeah.
All because of that intrepid guy.
That thing, right. Next time, we're going to do this again in 3 weeks. We're going to bet it. We're going to do over-under. We're going to do points, okay? Because that half point, baby. See what happens? So look.
There's a lot of movie pitches in some of that trivia. Think about some of the movie ideas from the trivia question and the story behind it.
He's been writing this whole time, and he's been writing Kate Beckinsale over and over and over again. All right, let's take a commercial break now. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. We'll be right back. Show your beverage. Why not, right? All right, listen. Welcome back, everyone, to Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show. Here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network, this is Mack Maloney, and this is World War II Trivia Night, Trivia Contest. If you're just joining us now, wow, what a contest you missed. Now, who won? Coco, right?
Of course.
Coco, of course, is right.
I'm not saying the fix was in, but, I mean, he knows his stuff.
I don't want to say the fix was in, okay? First of all,
it's not.
When I found out that out of the four, the two of them were Army guys, I said, hey, the fix is in, but not necessarily against me. But as it turns out,
it really all stems from the fact that Popeye was a Coast Guardsman, and we had that debate.
There we go. All right, we got 30
ago.
minutes here. Now wait a minute. We talked about this for an hour about 2 months ago.
About Popeye?
Yeah, that he claims he's a Coast Guard guy. I think he's a merchant marine guy.
There's no claim. I've sent the pictures. I've sent you the stills of the film where it shows that he says he's a United States Coast Guard. 2 Navy veterans on this program have seen the pictures and substantiate the claim.
I think
and
you
I will
can fake
defy
those.
anybody to prove to me.
You can fake those things
otherwise.
these days. I think they're fake.
Unreliable sources, and it could have been Photoshopped.
Could have been Photoshopped is like nothing these days.
Only olive oil would know.
Infants.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Let's bring olive oil in and talk to her.
Bruto. Was it Bruto? Brutus?
He couldn't. He had a personality disorder. He called himself something Bluto and Bruto.
Bluto.
Right. Yes.
With an L. Yeah, Bluto.
How much spinach did you eat as a kid? I ate a shitload of spinach.
All my spinach because of the kids in Biafra.
Yeah, really Biafra.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Same with the cauliflower.
Okay. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. Did we go down that trail quick? Okay. So, let me introduce everyone who's here, unless I haven't done that before. Juan-Juan is here. Coco is here. Switchblade is here. Raven is here, giving herself a cold compress. Hello, Raven. And also, Agent X. We got to be a TV show. Agent X, how you doing? Are you awake anyway? Because we had a screenshot 2 weeks ago.
Notwithstanding this
you were asleep
big show that
during the show.
You and I just eliminated from.
Okay. So anyway, so I know, yeah, the guys from Dorchester. Don't you see a pattern here? I mean, seriously, I couldn't get into a good college because of where I grew up. I mean that. I mean high school.
Not this guy, right off the top.
Actually, both.
Dorchester, you kidding?
I'm just joking. I think
Couldn't understand
Coco and Phil did a fantastic job.
Oh, wow. So you're one of them now. Okay, that's fine. So listen. So you go with the guy who can see in the future. He wins. No, Coco. He foresaw Coco winning. Right?
Yeah, and let him have it.
He bet on Coco. Next time we're going to bet. We're going to do over-unders. We're going to, like I said, we'll do points.
That'd be good.
Yeah, it'll be fun. No, we'll give all the money.
Is that legal if you do it on the air?
Legal-ish. And we'll give all the money to orphans. How about that? That will make it okay. Speaking of okay,
I'd rather send it to a pig sanctuary.
Raven is with the downturn time. How about a pig sanctuary? How about rescue pigs, Raven?
Yeah.
Yes.
How about you send it to me? Just send it right to me.
Let's send it to Coco.
More than happy.
And then he'll give half of it to the animals, and the other half he'll throw a party for us.
All right. Okay.
Win-win.
Now we're talking.
The animals get half.
Oh, yes.
They'll have so much money. Of
course they
it'll
can
be
have.
catered.
Here we go.
I mean, Zeppelin really needs most of it.
I said, no, he doesn't. Not really. Wait till, when is Easter? Has Easter already passed us?
Yeah.
Okay, then he's got a year to...
Some Catholic you are.
He's got a year to get his act together before next Easter. Next ham dinner.
It's even past Orthodox Easter.
Okay. Why don't we get to Switch?
We're way past that.
I know that.
We know what Switch had for breakfast. Okay, he had lemon cake with lots of lemon frosting on top. And we would tell you what he had to drink in Latin, but as it turns out, we're going to probably have to cut that out of earlier in the show. Yeah, we're trying to raise...
Those Latins, they're so funny.
Well, they sound funny, apparently. But I'll tell you one thing. Those ancient Romans, they knew how to throw a party. If you saw the new Spartacus, they were partying all the time. Did you see that?
I watched some of it. That's all they do.
I can't watch Xena, the same.
I got to watch it. I got to watch it after dark.
In slow motion. Okay, we understand. Switch. Let's get to Tales from the Fringe. Tales from the Fringe, Switchy.
Well, as you know, I love to go retro when it comes to the UFO phenomenon. And there was a great writer, Harold T. Wilkins. He and people like Frank Edwards and John Macklin would write these great books full of different incidents, kind of an anthology series. Wilkins wrote things like Captain Kidd and his Skeleton Island, Flying Saucers Uncensored, Strange Mysteries of Time and Space. Well, I'm taking an excerpt from his book, Flying Saucers on the Attack. And the foreword, it says, the title is A Foreword and a Warning. And what he does, he quotes from a novel by H.G. Wells.
Yes.
I'm going to read that quote. We have learned now that we cannot regard this planet as being fenced in and a secure abiding place for man. We can never anticipate the unseen good or evil that can come upon us suddenly out of space. Before the cylinder fell, and we might say in contemporary times, before Kenneth Arnold's sighting in 1947, there was a general persuasion that through all the deep of space, no life existed beyond the petty surface of our minute sphere. Now we see further. And of course, that's from War of the Worlds. Now, in his book, the preceding chapter to the one I'm going to be talking about, he talks about the Foo Fighters, and we've talked many times about the Foo Fighters,
not the band,
about how they were seen by our guys and their guys, and everybody thought it was somebody else's technology for a while, until it turned out it was something far stranger. But then he moves into the next chapter. He gets into these really bizarre sightings, and Wilkins points out that not all of these sightings, they were pretty much calling them flying saucers in these days. This book was written, I think, in it was 1954. This book was published, so this is only a few years after Kenneth Arnold's sighting. And he said that mostly we're talking about glowing spheres, metallic-looking craft, and so forth. But on October 9th, 1946, between 7:25 p.m. and 9 p.m. over San Diego, a lot of people were out at this time because there was a meteor shower going on, and so everybody was kind of looking up at the heavens. Well, this one witness described something in the sky as a huge bat. And like I say, there were many people out looking skyward because of the meteor shower. I believe the Draconin meteor shower, and which forms because of the tail of one of the comets that circumvents our solar system. Now, there were Wilkins contacted 16 witnesses, and about half of them said that this craft, this thing, actually had wings, and they were bat-like wings.
Yes,
and they could see this. It was like passing over the disk of the moon. Some described it as kind of like a long plane with two red lights. So this thing just doesn't make any sense at all.
Maybe it was the bat.
Sometimes it moved at a tremendous speed. It was kind of a bluish white color. One woman that he spoke to said that whatever it was, it certainly was not a plane. The wings actually moved, and the wings were too wide for a plane. They were more like butterfly wings. So this makes all kinds of it has all kinds of contradictions.
Sense.
Yet several credible people saw essentially the same thing. Now, this was seen over San Diego and some different parts of Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
Some said it remained stationary for a while, and sometimes it moved very slowly. Sometimes it left a trail of luminosity behind it. And one astronomer had taken photographs, time-lapse photographs of the moon, and afterwards she checked and found a strange vapor trail that shouldn't have been there. So the general consensus was it was some kind of craft or even spaceship, and it was seen overhead most of the night. And again, the rate of speed changed. Sometimes it was brilliantly illuminated, and sometimes it went dark. There was also occasional flash of light associated with it, and sometimes it would leave kind of a luminous trail behind it. So and now we're going to get back to 1946 in just a moment. Wilkins diverts, and he actually talks about a couple things that were probably first written by Charles Fort. He talks about a Dr. F.B. Harris, who in the 1912 issue of Popular Astronomy, he says, through his telescope, on the evening of January 27th, 1912, I saw an intensely black object, like a crow, poised upon the moon. I estimated it to be 250 miles long by 50 miles wide. I cannot think that must be a very interesting phenomena that happened there. Signor Rico of the observatory at Palermo, Sicily, wrote that on November 30th, 1880, at 8 a.m., he saw winged bodies in two long parallel lines slowly traveling across the disk of the sun out in space. They looked like large birds or cranes. Okay. So I don't know how we explain this, but these are some of the bizarre things that Charles Fort delighted in bringing forth in his books. There were Mrs. Ella Young, and we're back in 1946. She contacted a gentleman named Meade Lane. Now, Meade Lane was the guy that ran the Borderland Sciences Association.
Yes.
And he preceded, we talk about John Keel a lot, of course. Meade Lane was a early proponent that some of these craft may not actually be extraterrestrial, but may in fact be living beings or some kind of etheric beings. So she reported, Miss Ella Young reported to Meade Lane that she saw something back in 1927 at the Casa Madrana Hotel in Sausalito.
Yes.
She said, a cigar-shaped object shoot out of a cloud. It streaked across the sky. At first she thought it was a Zeppelin, but as she looked at it, it was kind of a classic cigar-shaped object, which we've heard a lot about. And it wasn't, the speed wasn't fixed. The structure wasn't fixed. Mm-hmm. It was moving almost like a snake or worm or something. It was alternating and elongating its body to create movement. So it seemed in the sky.
Switchy.
And then it disappeared into a cloud.
Hey, Switch.
Yes?
Can I interrupt you just to ask Raven a question?
Absolutely.
And this is only because Juan-Juan handed me a note to ask you this question. Do you think the cigar-shaped object and everything's talking about a little phallic? Is there a little phallic angle to this?
Well, I've heard of that. I've watched quite a few documentaries about the phallic objects.
Yes.
Okay. You just have to get your mind out of the gutter to people with class understand it.
Nope.
Check the tape. He's handing me a note. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to jazz up the show. Go ahead, please. Switch.
Well, there's no notes here about phallic imagery, so I can't answer that.
Let's make them up. Go ahead.
Now I'm getting embarrassed.
Okay.
So anyway, this particular story by Ella Young came to light because she was one of the witnesses in 1946 that saw this bat-like object. And she said that they were on high ground near Morro Bay. The sun had just set, and they spotted a dark object in the sky. It was heading toward them, and she could clearly see bat-like wings. It disappeared into a cloud, and afterwards, she said a flush of color spread over the sea, but there's no indication of where that came from. Now, but fortunately, we have an answer to what this thing was, because Mark Probert He was a medium and channeler. And Mark Probert, now he was a kind of another big name at the time in certain circles. He's mentioned in the Flying Saucer Pilgrimage by Helen and Bryant Grieve, two people from Detroit that ran the Detroit Flying Saucer Club. They went all across the U.S. talking to, supposed contactees and people that claimed conversations with the Space Brothers. Well, they also interviewed Mark Probert. Well, he saw this object, and he said, now through his cosmic connections or whatever, he got a message from these space people as to what they were. So we have an answer. He said they came from a planet west of the moon. Okay. This machine is called a Corita or Corita. The ship is attracted at this time to the Earth because the Earth is emanating a column of light, which makes it easier to approach. Okay. The inhabitants have an advanced knowledge of anti-gravity propulsion. It's made of 10,000 parts. This sounds very classic channeling mumbo jumbo. The motor is run by electricity, and it runs the craft, and it makes the wings move. The wings are made of balsa wood, coated with some kind of a special alloy. So, and the people inside are very non-aggressive, very chilled out. They fear to land, but they really want to make contact. And they would be willing to meet a committee of scientists on a mountaintop. Okay. So that's the channeled message from Mark Probert. So obviously, some of this is pretty out there. And, channeled messages are what they are. Yes. Very... I think you could say unreliable, to say the least. And, although it's very interesting with channeling, there are some themes that show up with different people. Some of the same alleged entities, the names show up. Some of the same themes are there, but you never know what you're going to get from this. Right. But if we back up and look at this, you've got several witnesses that have seen something very. UFOs are common. Yes. People seeing the cigar-shaped craft, the disc in the sky, strange lights, and so forth. But there have been other instances where people have seen some kind of a sort of a cigar-shaped craft, and it looks like it has wings that are flapping. So you get all these aberrations.
It's funny they're flapping.
I'd like to ask Bill something, actually.
Yes, I do too.
Bill, I know you did some remote viewing. And you did some in UFO kind of stuff as blind targets. Did you ever get anything that was just really bizarre
out there?
I mean, you've seen some of the remote viewers have seen what they think are craft. Maybe you see entities inside, but do you ever see anything that is just so off the beam that doesn't make any sense at all?
Last time I talked about the abduction in the Bay of, I think it's San Mateos.
Yes.
Right.
East of Argentina.
Yep.
That was terrifying.
Just tell us. Tell us again. Tell the story again, please.
I'll try to speed it up here. In April of 85, I worked a site for Skip Atwater, who was the monitor at that time, and he was very interested in UFOs. I had no idea what the site was and where we were going, but he gave me geographical coordinates, middle of the off the coast of Argentina, and I identified the site as water and land a ways away to the west, and nothing else here. That was in April 85. He then moved me in time, which is his stage 3 process, back to 1981, when something should be perceivable. And there was a Argentine minesweeper in the bay on routine patrol, very professional. And then I skipped forward to morning, and he had to move me back and forth because it was a terrifying sight. Okay. That's the only time my subconscious has tried to avoid a sight.
Go ahead.
But I got to the site, and what was happening was there was a huge craft, metallic, over this minesweeper. There was lights. It was almost like a negative, reds and blacks, and the sea was boiling. There was also something under the ocean.
Okay.
And as we went along, the people Most were running and screaming. The ship smelled of insanity and fear. It was just permeating everything. And some people stayed at the stations, tried to do what they could do, but there was nobody could take charge. And people were being sucked up into this craft. The people in the craft were unemotional. I couldn't tell. There was no sex among these people. They were just, and they weren't people, they were entities. But they were uncaring, unfeeling, unemotional. They were interrelated, intertwined in some way. They were all almost like ants in a colony.
Like a hive mind?
Say again?
Like a hive mind?
Kind of like that, but they were just, there was some relationship between them, that they were all interrelated in some way.
But unemotional, you said.
Human.
But without emotion.
Unemotional, there was no emotion.
Like someone picking a bug, studying a bug or something.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, please.
They were just, we did some stage 5s afterwards, and it was actually the things that came out was it was experimental, it was biological, it was from knowledge, it was temporary. A lot of information came out. I was on the site for almost 2.5 hours, which is a long time to be on the signal line. It gets tiring.
Right.
But there was also something under the water that was important. There was bubbles. It was a colony type thing. And if you look up San Mateus, there's rumors that there is one of the underwater sites there for the aliens. I have no idea. But I've been very afraid many times in my life. And when I think back now about those, when I was shot at or jumping out of a plane or coming off a mountain or something, I think I was afraid then. But I don't feel the fear. I just think I was afraid. But when I think back to this site, I have goosebumps now. I'm afraid now. I feel fear thinking back to that site.
I just want to say,
and I wasn't really there.
Right. That's
but
the thing
I was
about
there
it.
in a way.
So let me just.
There was a tremendous sense of gravity. The skin was pulled tight across the face. I couldn't get my feet off the ground, off the deck.
Wow. I just want to remind everyone
but I didn't want to take it.
that Bill Ray ran the U.S. Army's remote viewing program for 2.5 years, correct, or even longer?
About 2 years.
Okay,
so there were 3.5 years as a viewer.
Okay.
My last 18 months, 24 months, I was the commander.
So we got about.
You were trained by Ingo Swann.
Yes,
famous English.
We were trained by Ingo.
We got like 3 minutes left. I just want to ask you one question, Bill. So, what do you think it was?
I think it was aliens. I think it was they were completely devoid of any feeling. They were
in their benevolence.
It was an experiment. It was biological.
Yeah.
They were gathering information.
You hear that a lot.
I think there was the fear, the insanity was generated. It wasn't the normal fear that you get, when you're being shot at or you're jumping out of a plane. No, it wasn't that kind of fear. It was an insane, intense kind of fear.
Wow. Okay.
I just wonder if they remote viewed, an incident like this where people are seeing this strange craft with bat wings. I mean, that just throws it into another realm.
Right.
A lot of people see these things. So there's something there, whether it's an apparition or something physically real.
Right.
But then you wonder, well, what, just to us, we want to think linear, and it's either a craft, but why does it have bat-like wings? It doesn't make any sense.
Right, yeah.
It's one thing we find when we talk to people who see a flying saucer is quite frequently they remember that they've seen these in the past. This wasn't the first one they've seen.
Yes, yep.
Exactly.
But it's the memory goes away until something else happens and it comes up again.
So listen, we have 3 minutes now. So Switchy, thank you for that report. Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause to Switchy. Oh boy, I really got to sweeten that one up, Switchy. Okay, $18.
And thank you to Ray for helping to fill that out.
All right.
That's really. I heard Paul Smith talk about that incident some time ago, but not in as much detail. And that was just really fascinating.
Hey, Bill, can I ask you a question before we go?
Monaco and I worked at Paul tried, but couldn't get on target. Yeah.
So listen, Bill, before we go, when you looked in the future, the past, did you ever see Juan-Juan with a rat's tail? Did that image of her.
It was wicked cool, though.
Well, one with the rat's tail is a little scarier than Agent X with the.
They didn't really call it a rat's tail. They just called it a tail.
The bun novel is.
It was braided, for crying out loud.
Listen, before we go, I have to read this, and this is we mentioned this earlier in the show, and this was the fish sauce that people in ancient Rome just couldn't get enough of. Okay, they just put it over everything. I'm just going to...
Especially for breakfast?
Especially for breakfast, but just all day long. Okay, and I'm going to tell you how they made it. What it's made of is the intestines of fish are thrown into a vessel and are salted. And small fish, especially small mullets, there's that word again, or just basically small fish are all salted in the same manner, and they are seasoned in the sun, frequently turned, and when they have quote-unquote seasoned in the sun, that's when the garum, that's what they call it, is taken from it. Now, a small basket of close texture is laid in the vessel filled with the small fish already mentioned, and the garum will flow into the basket, and they will take up what has been percolated in the basket, the fish, okay, the fish, right, and then which is called whatever, and the remaining is called feculence, and that's the sauce.
I thought that's what you throw up.
I think
that's the sauce?
Yes, I think feculence is what the fish excreting as they're eating all this boiling kind of oil.
I get it.
No.
Okay, how about that?
You know, I'm going to straight up vom
ketchup
all over the place.
No. Gonna vom. Ketchup for me is fine.
I think Gibson identified this as one of the reasons for the fall.
They'd fall. Yeah, I don't doubt
it's fish intestines with little fish and other fish just set out in the sun, and then they flip them, and that's the sauce.
No. Then they put them in boiling oil, and
if you're eating that, how can you hold back the hordes at the gates? You're in the bathroom.
They put fish in there, and the fish eat that stuff, and what the fish excrete, that's the sauce.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. Wow. And you know what's weird? When we Googled it, it said it's making a comeback. Okay, so watch it next time you go into it.
No, it's not.
Italian restaurant.
No, it's not.
Believe it or not.
Stop.
It was in the man bun.
Big
that
fish
never goes away either.
Okay, right. So anyway, let's stop thanking people. Bill Ray, I love that vom. I'm going to vom. Bill Ray, thank you very much for joining us. Okay, do it again.
That's the title of tonight.
Sometime soon. Yes. Okay. Can we go to the racetrack? Can we do something? Can we get something going for the orphans? Racetrack. Vegas. Lotto numbers. How about lotto numbers? No.
Numbers don't come through.
Oh, that's what they all say.
It works that way. That's
letters don't come through normally.
Bill, thanks very much. Okay, we'll talk to you very, very soon. But he would already know that. Juan-Juan.
He'd know the day and
the
time.
rat tail.
Okay. X, you're next on the list.
It was very cool, the rat's tail.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure it is. That's another show. Do you want to do another show devoted to the rat's tail?
Yeah.
And you're walking around in Somerville with a rat's tail?
I was talked into getting the rat's tail.
You're lucky you're here. Yeah, I'll bet. X, if Raven is giving thumbs up on a rat's tail, then we're going to have to discuss it off air. X, thanks for joining us. Okay, he looks like he has a rug, too. Him and Switchy. Have you been in touch with each other? Okay, X.
You keep saying that. I've seen Steve in person, and he's seen me in person. We don't have rugs.
Go ahead.
We don't wear hats and dark glasses.
That's just
indoors.
Okay.
Natural humans.
Hey, Juan-Juan, you, that's exactly what you were doing. Oh, I don't know. He's pointing to something. We're a radio show. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, you're showing us. Okay. Are you getting a Uber home tonight? How are you getting home?
Huh?
Nothing. Never mind.
I'm fine.
So, he's fine.
I have to
thank you, X. Okay. Those are really, I hate to hear those words, you know. Wait. I'll put my shades on. X, thank you from your busy schedule for joining us. All right. And for being the sacrificial lamb like me and that fixed trivia contest. If they had asked those first 10 questions, the second 10, if they were the first 10, I would have been in the
running.
In the round. Absolutely. Come on. Phil, I love Phil, and I know he did a lot of research, but why did Rommel go home? Why wasn't Rommel there on D-Day? Come on. It's kind of easy.
You saw that in the movie, didn't you?
Important.
The movie everywhere. Comic books. Anyway.
Longest day.
That's all you have to do. Pay attention. And who played him? James Mason? Was James Mason? Yeah, in the longest day.
I think he's played Rommel a couple of times.
Yeah, he goes right into the Rommel thing.
When I see Rommel, I see James Mason.
Me too.
James Mason.
Okay, we got to go. Thank you, X. Okay. Thank you, Switchy. Switchy, thank you, Bill. We'll do it soon. Thank you, Coco. I'm leaving Raven for last. Let's salute Coco. Let's do it really quick.
Okay. All right.
Okay, ready?
Yes, the winner.
Call it off.
10 hit.
Whoa, Bill. Oh, there. Okay. Oh, man. Did you see his salute?
Yeah.
I like Ravens because we can see her tattoo.
He's squared away.
Yeah, but he's squared away. Yeah, the Army guy. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. And I should say that if you're hearing us now, send us an email with your name and your email address to be put into the Magic Fish Bowl to be picked out by our winner, Coco. And you'll win the European wrist game. I guess Phil said it's very weighty. It weighs a lot, so it must be,
good quality.
So just send your email address to wingman.com and get into the Magic Fish Bowl, okay? What's
that address again?
Wingman.com. What do you say?
I thought you were giving an email address.
No, just if they go on wingman.com, they'll see the radio show, the book.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, thank you for correcting me, though. Thank you.
Wasn't sure.
I mean, who knows? I should send an email to myself, see what happened. Then I'd win the Magic Fish. I would win.
Right.
With
the fix is in already.
The fix is in already. That's the way my mind goes. Also, we want to say that Homes for Our Troops. Homes for Our Troops is a charity. Please go online and look for them. Homes for Our Troops, a military charity. What they do is that they build houses specially adapted for war veterans who lost limbs in the Afghan and Iraqi wars. They build them specially for them so they can get around a little bit easier. Then they give them the keys, no mortgage, nothing. They deserve it. Homes for Our Troops. Please go on Google, look them up, and donate. 88 cents of your donated dollar goes towards veterans. That's a very, very high number in the charity world. Definitely. Homes for Our Troops. Also, People's Mosquito Project.
People's Mosquito.
There you go. Man, where did you get the button? I didn't get a button.
I can't tell you.
You can't tell me? Oh, wow. Okay. The People's Mosquito Project.
You got to be a member.
Also, okay, thank you.
And you have to volunteer to go on its maiden voyage.
Is it some from Dorchester? Tell me.
Eileen's making a scarf, especially for the occasion.
Oh, really?
You're going to have some cool gloves.
Put a little parachute on it. Take it from
Oakley flying goggles.
Wow. Okay. So... People's Mosquito Project, they're putting back together a mosquito war plane from World War II, made of wood, 2 Rolls-Royce engines, fastest thing in the war for about 2.5 years, so fast it could outrun the bullets.
I've always wanted to say I rode in a Rolls.
Well, I rode down in a Rolls, man. So you're going up in the first flight? Is that you're going to be the first civilian? Yeah. No parachute? No chute?
I don't think there's room for a parachute.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what they told you. Talk about over-unders. Thank you. Thank you, everyone listening. We're a podcast now, and we're on Apple Podcasts, Podbean,
Spotify,
Stitcher. You name it, we're there. Yeah. Just Google Mack Maloney's Milk Tracks on.
Just Google it. You get about 15 hits of where we stream.
And we just got a badge. We should say this, right? We just got a badge for 50,000 downloads. Okay, some kind of a. Did we get an actual badge or a medal?
From Podbean. Yeah, we got a medal.
Okay.
We got a graphic that you could put on your website.
Nothing. Is there anything I can put on my hat? Like you?
Yeah, there's like a little thingy.
Oh, really? A little thingy? We don't want to hear that.
Thingy?
Let's see.
Yeah, it's like a bobber. You know?
Oh, I think I'm a bobber.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Switchy.
Exactly.
Automatically, Switch's mind goes in. All right, so listen. So thank you very much and for listening in and hopefully following the World War II Trivia Contest. Coco, once again, congratulations for winning.
Yeah, good job.
Contested, but we're going to say,
job, Coco.
For now,
salute.
You are the winner. Okay, there he is. He can't believe it. He's like the kid from
Mission Accomplished, as usual.
Left at home alone.
Outstanding.
Thank you very much. And Juan-Juan, of course. Thank you to you. I know you live for this, correct?
I do. I love this.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I like to do it all day, every day.
Really? Yeah. All day, every day.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I could take that, but, who knows. Raven, did I say goodbye to you? If not, I'm going to say goodbye again.
Okay. Bye.
You and your bun, okay?
Bye, Raven.
I think the bun is growing on me. Yeah, I kind of like the bun now. Yeah. At the beginning of the show, not really, but thank you. All right, so anyway.
Yeah, it's hard to get used to. I mean, and it's hard for me to get used to because I always wear hats. So now I actually have to do something.
But let me just ask you, if you're
this is sort of like the never-ending ending.
Yeah, if your significant other ever had a bun, would that be it, right? Game over, correct?
Oh, it'd be divorce papers.
Bada boom.
Immediately.
There you go.
Sorry, bye.
That's okay. That's all right.
You know,
some tough love.
We knew growing up, a bun on a guy is just something for you to hold his head while you punch him.
Oh, see, where's all the aggression coming from? Please.
Do you know that was my high school nickname?
What was it, bun?
Yeah. I'll show you to my yearbook. I'll bring it in.
He's telling us now after 2 hours? Oh, my God. Okay. Why don't we end that? Thank you, everyone.
No, it was not.
Listening. That's another show, an entire show. A Man Called Bun.
I can prove it to you.
Yeah, okay. I can't wait for that. All right. Why don't we get out of here? Thank you very much for everyone listening. And this is Mac for the entire gang saying, until you hear us again, be safe, be happy, and
bye-bye.